Good morning everybody. Today we are going to start with the first chapter of economics of 10th standard, that is development. Development basically means progress, but the term development varies from person to person and from place to place. For example, if I am having a bicycle with me, but I think I will feel developed if I am having a bike with me. If I get a bike, I will aspire for a car, then car will be development for me. So every person aspire different things and goals are different for different persons, and the definition of development also varies from person to person. A person who is not having land, for him getting land may be development, and a person who is already having a land, getting more income from the land may be development, that is progress for him. A boy who is studying in a rural village, for him studying in an urban school may be development. So that's why we say development varies from person to person. Now every person have different goals, so people have different goals. Now if there in a family there is a brother and a sister, the sister do all the household works, she is not allowed to go out with her friends and she has no freedom, but her brother is enjoying all the freedom. So in that case the sister will always want that the brother should also do the household work and she should also get the equal treatment what her brother is getting. If she gets all that what her brother is getting, she feels developed. So development is getting freedom and less burden of work for a girl. But does it mean development for the boy? If he is asked to do the household work, naturally he will not like it. So it is not development for him. So it is possible that development for one may not be the development for other. So in this case of boy and girl, development of girl may not be development of a boy. And one more sentence, it may even be destructive. Let us take one example where an industrialist is there. He wants electricity to run his industries, and for running industries electricity is required. For electricity, dams should be built. If a dam is built, so electricity will be provided and it will be development for the industrialist. But when a dam is built in a forest area, so tribals who live near the land, they have to be displaced from there. So they are losing their livelihood and they are losing their land. So a tribal may not feel that dam is development for them. So dam is something which is development for an industrialist, but not a development for a tribal person. So it is contrasting. So that it may be even destructive. This development is destructive for the tribal, but the development is useful for industrialist. So once again, what may be development for one may not be development for other, and it may even be destructive if it is totally contrast to each other. Now always when we think about development, we think that it's money only which can bring development, but the case is not true. Of course income or money is one of the factor which leads to development. Suppose as I gave you an example, if I want I'm already having a cycle and I want a bike, so naturally buying a bike requires money. So income is of course a criteria for development, but income is not the only criteria for development. Now apart from income, we require many other things to live well. Like we need equal treatment. Especially boys and girls should be treated equally. Upper caste and lower caste people should be treated equally. Freedom is required. Everybody wants freedom of speech, freedom to move from one place to another. They want security in life. They want that others should respect them and they should not be discriminated. So these things are also important apart from income. For example, if I get a job elsewhere and I am getting a job with more salary, so that salary may give me more development, but will only salary give me the development? No, I have to look at certain other aspects also. Suppose if I am getting a job at such a place where women are not respected, will I prefer that job? No, because I want respect. If I get a job in such a place where women don't have freedom to move, or upper caste and lower caste people are discriminated, or there is no security of job, will I go there? No. So for me, only more money is not a criteria for a happy living. All these things are also required. So apart from income, there are other goals also which are required for development and for a happy living. Till now we were discussing about the personal development. Now let us come to the topic national development. So for a nation to develop, there are certain criteria. If you ask different people will give different criteria for national development. Some may say that if agriculture develops, it may lead to national development. Some may say that if education develops, then this may lead to national development. Some may say that more industries are required, so industrial development ultimately leads to national development. So as personal developments have different goals for different people, similarly national development may also have different criteria for different nations. So we cannot ascribe any one goal or any one criteria for the development of a nation. Development of a nation is also a mix of all these things. Now let us see how to compare the different countries or state. How can we say that a particular country is developed and a particular country is not developed? For that, we compare two different countries or two different states with the help of average income, or it is also called as per capita income. For example, if a particular country is having an income of 1 lakh and another country is having an income of 10 lakh. So shall we say that this country is rich and this country is rich and this country is poor? No, we cannot say just by looking at the income of the country. We should also look to another criteria, that is the population of the country. If the population of the country is divided by the income of the country, then we get the average income of the country. Suppose in this case, if the income of a country is 1 lakh and there is a population of 1 lakh, so that means the average salary of every person in this country is 1 rupee. In this case, when the income of the country is 10 lakh and the population is 1 lakh, so when we divide this, we get 10. That means every person is getting 10 rupees as as per capita income or average income. But if this same thing changes to, in this case we have found that this country is rich because every person is getting 10 rupees compared to this country which is getting only 1 rupee. But if the population of this country increases to 10 lakh, so then what will happen? The average income of this country will also be 1 and this country is also 1. So population matters a lot. So in every country the average income is calculated with the national total income of the country divided by the population of the country. Now the World Bank has decided certain criteria and they have fixed a certain amount, and any country receiving an amount of average income of more than that is called as high income country, and below that is referred to as low income. As we have already seen that income is not the only criteria for development, there are other factors also. So let us prove this with one more example. Here is a comparative data given for different states. 3 states have been taken for comparison: Punjab, Kerala and Bihar. Now out of these states, Punjab is having the average income is the highest of Punjab. Punjab comes first in the average income. Then Kerala is second in terms of average income of the state, and Bihar is the third related to the average income of the state. Now, if we look at the average income, that means Punjab is having more money. In that case, the infant mortality rate, that means the children who die before 1 year, is called as infant mortality rate. So infant mortality rate should be less in Punjab because Punjab is having more money, they might have given more health facilities. The literacy rate should be more in Punjab because educational institutions may be more because income is more. Then attendance ratio should be more because more schools are there, more facilities are given to children. So more and more children should go to school. So if average income is more, these all things should also be more. But in this case, we see that Kerala, though not having as much average income as Punjab, but in relation to infant mortality rate, in relation to literacy rate and in relation to net attendance ratio, Kerala is better than Punjab. This shows that Kerala is more developed than Punjab. So this proves that money is not the only criteria for development. The health facilities are better in Kerala. That is why the death of the children is less. Education is more in Kerala because here we see the literacy rate is 70 here and 91 here, and more children attend schools in Kerala. So that means education facility and health facility is better in Kerala, though the average income of Kerala is less than Punjab. So this example once again proves that income is not the only criteria for development. Education and health are also necessary to check whether development is there or not. With the example of Punjab and Kerala, it is clear that money in your pocket cannot buy everything. Suppose you are living in Punjab, you are having a lot of money with you. The government has not provided any educational institution, but you want to study. Can you set up one educational institution for yourself because your child wants to study? Suppose the government is not providing any security. Can people living in one society, everybody can appoint one security guard in their house so that their houses may be secure? No, this is not possible even if you have a lot of money, because there are some things which you cannot buy with your money. This has to be provided by the government, which are called as public facilities. If you want to go from one place to another place, you may have a private car, but if you want to go to another country, you need aeroplanes, you need other means of transport, so which is provided by the government. So money in your pocket cannot buy aeroplane. Or even if you want to live a healthy life, the environment you cannot clean yourself until unless government has taken some measure to clean the environment. So a clean environment, adulteration free medicines, all these things you can get only if the government provides. These are the public facilities. This you cannot buy even if you have lot of money in your pocket. So ultimately let us come to the conclusion that money cannot buy everything. Even if you are very rich, some things are to be provided by government and public facilities are required very much. So keeping this in view, the United Nations Developmental Program UNDP has released a report which is called as Human Development Report, which also clearly mentions that income is not the only criteria for development. Education and health should also be included as criteria for development. And UN Development Report has published a comparison of different Asian states, and they found that though Sri Lanka do not have much average income compared to other Asian nations, but still they are in a very forward position because health and education is better in that country. Now, when we categorize any country into rich country or poor country or a developed country and underdeveloped country or undeveloped country, so we always want that a developed nation should sustain that development. That developed nation should not come to the lower category. And to maintain that development, there is a term called sustainability. Sustainability means always keeping the same. So for sustainable development, it is necessary that the development which is occurring now should also occur in future. For that, the resources which they are using now should also be used in the future. So sustainable development means development which may satisfy the need of present generation. It will satisfy the need of the future generation also, and without harming the environment. Suppose if we take the example of groundwater. For a development, naturally water is an important element, and most of the countries take groundwater for their developmental activities. So this groundwater level will decrease. It is quite decreasing nowadays. So the level of development which we are facing now, we may not be able to face in the future generation because the level of groundwater is getting lower and lower. So this will ultimately lead to a stagnancy in the development, and sustainable development will not occur. So conserving the resources like groundwater, similarly the fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, natural gas which we are using for development is likely to get exhausted after a few years. So future generations may not be able to see development. So natural resources like groundwater, fossil fuels, they should be protected, they should be sustained so that our future generation may also see development.